Welcome back to Morning Brews. On today's show, Van der Ven or Kulu, who's worse? Spurs versus Ferencvárosi. I can't say the name, but there we go. And many more to talk about. Catch you in a second. Welcome back to Morning Brews. Unfortunately, it's too early for me. I cannot say a single word. I'm tired. I haven't had a cup of tea yet. But yeah, anyway, we keep it in. We're not scripted on this show. We don't have little notes there telling us what we're going to do and everything. So yeah, Ferrer, that's who we're playing. And anyway, joining me this morning is Mr. Dagul. Unfortunately, Ben is currently unwell, so we do wish him the most speediest of recoveries, and hopefully he gets back soon. But Mr. Dagul, how are you on this fine Thursday morning?
So I'm shattered. It's silly o'clock for me to do this premiere, people. Premiere. So if you don't see the content, if you don't see the comments being brought up, especially Paddy, who'll be arriving late, you won't see this bit. But it is a premiere, and I will say, as we speak, we've been recording for 1 minute 27 seconds. I guarantee the chat is. What do you mean? Who's worse, Madison, Kulusevski, or Van der Ven? What do you mean? Who's worse? They're both brilliant. They're brilliant. David's been very, very. Let's engage and wake up. He's woken up early, and he's chosen. Let's choose controversy.
Yes, it's the best way to be, and it, to be fair, like, you know what I mean. Obviously, we're going to discuss players. We're going to have a chat about who we think's the best performer, who we think's overperforming, who we think's underperforming. But no, a little bit of clickbait, a little bit of getting that coffee rushing through your body a bit quicker this morning. Isn't it? It's the best way to do it, really, isn't it? Get people worried.
It is.
But yeah. So there you go. Obviously, you know, big game tonight for us. It's a Europa League. For us, any game in Europa League, regardless of the opposition, is, to be fair, a big game for us. I mean, This is the competition I think everyone in the fan base wants to see us win again. It's a competition we should have been doing really good in the past few years, but we just failed to do so. How are you feeling about it, really? I know you spoke a lot about this on Evening Brews with Johnny, is it? Johnny, I think it was. Yeah. Johnny Evans, that's correct. Yeah, it was a good show. And, you know, I haven't had my say in it. So, but for me, how you're feeling about this?
I'm feeling confident. I think we win. I think it's going to be a very, very hard-fought win. But I think we win. Listen, these guys are no mugs. This is a very, very hostile stadium with extremely hostile support. It's going to be a big test for some of the youngsters that play. It's going to be a big test for some of the first teamers that play. Going to a stadium that is going to be very, very intense. But I think we get the job done. I want to know more what your opinion is, because obviously you haven't spoken about it. Then I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you about it. So I'm going to throw it back on you. So what's your overall?
Cool. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, a team name like this, we shouldn't be worried, but in their league, and people could take the mick out of these type of teams in these leagues and everything, yeah? No opposition is going to be easy unless you stick to your game plan and you go all out 90 minutes. You can't let up against teams like this. They've played 6 games at the moment. They've won 6. They've got 12 goals for themselves. They've only conceded 2. A team like that, they're coming in hyped. They're coming in happy. They're coming in like they want to upset a big team like Tottenham. So it's not going to be easy. They're going to come at us. And if commentary game was anything to go by, you got to sit back and say to yourself, well, hey, if these rotated players don't step up to the mark, it could be a worry, mate, because a couple of players have been left back. Adogi's been left back. I think that's the only one, really, isn't it? Adogi. Oh, the bit we know is going to be injured. Sonny's left back as well, you know. So
no, Sonny's a left wing.
No. Oh, no, he's been left back at home. Hey, put it this way. Hey, what we're going on later, it's probably best if he was put in left back. Only joking. But yeah, for me, I'm confident. I'm excited for the game, but never underestimate any team. Yeah.
So yeah, listen, well, we've had this with FC Mura. Pacos de Ferreira in Portugal, Dynamo Zagreb when we were already in the league. No game is easy when you're in Europe. There are lesser teams and weaker teams that you should beat, but you know this in cross all football. But I do think we're going to have too much for them. I do think we are going to go in there and get a result. My actual prediction, I'll give you my prediction now. I said it with Johnny last night. I'll come to yours at the end of this section. I think it's going to be a hard-fought 2-0. And I think we're going to get the goals towards the latter parts of the second half, like from the 65th minute on. It's what I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll wait and see what happens. Questions for you. Now, lineup-wise, not going to ask you particular players or anything to begin with. I've seen 2 sets of what people think is best. So either go out full strength to start off with, hopefully let the big boys get 2-3-0 up, then bring off 5 stars and make 5 subs, or do you give a lot of rotation? Do you give a lot to the youth? And when I say the youth, we're talking the Bergvals, the Greys, and change, and have the big guns on the bench should they need to come on and make an impact. So it's basically you start with all the big guns, get the job like 3-4-0 up, and say, right, you're coming off 5 of you, or do you start with the team mixed with a few rotated, a few mixed, and only bring on the big guns if need be?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely bring on the big guns if need be, because our second team should be good enough to, our rotated players should be good enough to beat a team like Ferencvárosi. Let's hope I said that correctly. Ferencvárosi. They should be good enough. These are meant to be, big team players. They're meant to be Premier League players. That's what they've been signed for. And yeah, they should be. The only worry I have is obviously I really believe that Archie Gray is going to be put as a centre back since Ragusin is gone.
Yep.
And I really don't think Ange is going to start Romero in a game like this, because the way I'm looking at it, we're playing Brighton next. Now they're a high intensity team. They're us. They're us with lesser players. Basically, they're us with lesser players. You can say that, yeah? They play with intensity. They play with high line. If we go first team and they're having a struggling game against a team like this, the injuries can ensue, you know what I mean? Things like that. And tiredness and everything, because we play intensive football. So for me, you start the rotated players, the Archie Grays, the Bergvals, the Ben Davis. I'd still keep Vicario on goal. I don't think he needs much resting, but I'd stick Timo Werner on that left wing again. On the right, it's a hard one because we don't have many players there, but I'd go with Mikey Moore. I'd give Mikey Moore a chance. Get Lancashire up front, yeah? Give these type of players a chance. And if it's not working out, then you go get the big guns, throw them on. Because you've got to understand as well, with these kids running at these type of players all game, because they have to be full of energy, the other team's going to be knackered. So if you need the more experience, you need the players who can get a goal. You've got the Brennan Johnsons, you've got the Solanke, you've got the Kulus, you got the Bentancurs, stuff like that. You know what I mean? The Madisons and that, depending on how you want to set the midfield up. But for me, yeah, definitely rotate like mad again. Take the risk on it because, sorry, in the Premier League, it's way more important for us as well. It sounds horrible saying that. Like the Premier League's more important than Europa. It isn't. Europa's a cup. But against a team like this, you focus on the Premier League's next game rather than this game, and you hope your rotated players can do the job. So that's my opinion on it anyway.
Yeah,
I can give you my team if you want.
That I agree. Game management is a massive thing right now. And I'd be interested to know what people in the comments had thought.
And 100%.
Later about if you go big guns and then substitute when necessary, or start the rotated team, and only bring the big guns on for emergency purposes only. Next question. I'm not going to ask you to pick your team, but I am going to ask you now, and this goes to everyone in the chat as well. You're going to make some adjustments. Now, I don't care who you're replacing them for. That's not the question. Just take that Man U team.
Yeah.
So let's just say that Man U team. Obviously, Destiny take out because he hasn't gone.
Yeah.
If you could take 4 players and put them on the bench and bring someone else in, forget who you're going to bring in. Forget who you're going to bring in.
4 players off, yeah.
What 4 players would you rest? Bearing in mind Brighton, you've also got to factor in, have they played in the Coventry, Qarabag, Brentford, or sorry, Coventry, Brentford, Qarabag, Manchester United game. So if you can make 4 changes, I think he's going to make 4.
Yeah. I mean, he made a lot more last time, but he hasn't got the.
Well, no, he made 5 against Qarabag. So he made 8 against Coventry. So
yeah.
I think he's and fair play to him. Fair play to him. And as you know, I stand by my managers and always will.
Yeah.
When you saw Vicario on the pitch, I was like, right, that's already that team he set up against Qarabag. I was absolutely delighted with it. Even Ben Davies. So because then you got to look at it now, and we're talking about this. And the reason I asked about 4 is again another. Actually, I've got a third question for you. So if you can make. Actually, it kind of ties into this one.
Okay.
We got into the conversation with Johnny about when we got to the front line and kind of predicted, people were like, do you take Solanke and Johnson out and give them a rest? I am of the opinion that when strikers are on fire, taking them out could break it. It could also be good to say rest because you're ready, but I would never want to change my forward. If my forward line are purring, I'd keep it going. But so would you keep, first of all, question, which will answer within the 4, really. Do you start Johnson and Solanke? Do you rest one? Well, you're going to tell us with your 4.
Yeah. So, it's a hard one. But I think the least effective person to rest out of that front line would be Johnson. I mean, he's on fire. He's purring 4 in 4. But for me, you've seen it before where he's had a rest. He did it against Coventry, came on and scored the winning goal for us. So for me, I think he'd be the least affected by being put onto the bench. I think dropping him for, I'll just say his name now, for like a Mikey Moore. I would like that. That'd be comfortable for me. And it allowed the type of like Mikey Moore to work with Solanke. Now, Solanke, his job is very intensive though, but I think he's got the fitness and got the ability to manage himself throughout the game.
Yep.
But also his confidence. He's the main man. You want full confidence. You need him. You know what I mean? Eye on goal, knows what it is, scoring. So them 2, I would drop Johnson. Midfield, I would drop Maddison. And I'll give you the players while I'm going through. I'll drop Maddison for Bergvall, give him a chance.
Okay.
And I would drop. I wouldn't want to drop Kulu. That's the thing. I wouldn't want to drop Kulu. So I just drop Maddison there.
Yeah.
Then I would drop Van der Ven. And
right, so this is where when you drop Van der Ven, remember Destiny hasn't gone. Dragoos is suspended.
Yeah.
And so what's your defense?
So my defense, right? And this is going to be, oh shit, no, he can't go. Sorry, no, that's completely derailed me. I forgot. I was going to put Spence on the left and Ben Davis there, but he can't.
Alfie Dorrington has gone, but I doubt we're chucking Alfie Dorrington in.
No, he won't go in. I mean, in theory, you could throw Porro on the left and put Archie Gray on the right. Give Porro a chance there, but you're taking him out of position then, and it's not good.
And also with Porro, I think needs a rest. I think Porro is a player that you can afford to drop because Archie Gray did very, very well. It's a kind of, do you go Romero, Van der Ven, Davies, or Romero, Davies, Van der Ven? It's that subject again. It's not as easy as it looks right now, does it?
No, it's not. And Ange's got a hell of a job there because if he risks Van der Ven, and we know Van der Ven, has got his hamstrings ain't as strong as people think, bear in mind. I mean, everyone laughed at Thingy's hamstring injury. I think it was Neto. Van der Ven's got a worse one than him. So, you've got to look at it in that sense. And his type of play, again, like Solanke, very intensive. He's got to be running all the time. High line makes it that. So, do you know what I'd do, actually? Do you know what I'd do, to make his job less intensive, right? And I think it would, because the way I'm just switched up now, and he's not inverting fullbacks, I'd go Porro, No, I'd go Archie Gray, Romero, Ben Davis, Van der Ven. I'd stick
There you
Van der
go.
Ven. Yeah, right. For the only one reason is because as we're not inverting anymore, if you watch against United, Porro and Anogi didn't need to run at the pitch as much. They made 3, 4 max times they ran at the pitch. So I think that'd be less intensive for him, especially against a team like that.
There you
So
go.
there, I think that. And
There's
let
your
us know in the comments. Halftime team talk. Halftime team
well,
talk.
first of all, your score
Oh, sorry.
prediction.
Oh, my score prediction. Oh, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here, man. I'm going to be a bit naughty now, yeah, because the way we're purring, I think there's a lot of confidence within the team. I'm going 4-0.
All right, so I'm going 2.
Yeah.
You're going 4. Well, the good thing is we're both going clean sheets.
Yes, clean sheets, definitely. Yeah, clean sheet.
We've gone from 0. We've gone from hardly keep. It's what people keep forgetting as well. Even though it's 2 cup competitions, we've gone from we've kept 4 clean sheets in 34 game, whatever it is, or whatever. Or now it's 2 and 2. Yes, it's yes, it was Karabag, but the other one was Manchester United. And before people go, it was a crap Manchester United, I ain't having it. We were outstanding Sunday. Yeah, I keep forgetting to do the halftime team talk.
Yeah. But
if
halftime
team the Tottenham on tour content, we are, I think it's about 140 away from 9,000. We started going nuts with subscribers. It's dried up a little bit. So we're really trying to push it out there. And with you liking, subscribing, and sharing, it's a massive help. And this channel is incredible because of you. That's right. You watching wherever you're at work, the gym, wherever you are, the car. If you are in the car, I hope you're blooming well not watching me point. You're watching the road. Wherever you are, on the train, whatever you're doing, having a coffee in the morning, going to bed at night. If you can, share the content and recommend us to your friends that are Spurs fans. It's a massive thing for us. There's lots coming up from this channel, and we want all of you to come along for the ride and more. So please do that. That was a party political broadcast for the Tottenham on Tour party. Back to our regular programming. Dave, next topics.
Yes, so the next topic, I thought we'd have a little discussion about this. I know we're not many games in, but I think it's a nice time to, because we've been had good parts, we've had bad parts, just to give our little talks about players who we think are overperforming, who are doing really well, who have come into their own slightly, and players who we think need to start doing a bit better and they're underperforming from what they could actually do. We're not saying they're bad. We're not saying they're terrible. We're not slating these players. Just as put it out there, we're just saying who players who we think is the ones that can do better than what they're doing and they're currently underperforming. So I shall go first on I believe is my favorite player at the moment. I think a player who
best player, not favorite.
But sorry, not favorite, but my best player currently, who I think's making the team gel, who's had some stick for his performances, who's a lot of people have, dragged him down at times and stuff like that because position-wise, he wasn't doing what he should do. And before I say his name, I'll give him what you used to call him, Mr. Dagul, and that was Dejan Predictabilisky. And that is Dejan Kulusevski. For me, this man has just hit some fantastic form. And placing him in the middle was a stroke of genius because what he's doing there, and I find it so underrated by people because while the game's live, you don't see it fully. But I picked that thing when I did that lovely stat show with Ireland. And if you haven't seen it in the chat, please go watch it. It was a fantastic show and it was genuine. Really enjoyed doing it with Ireland and discussing and breaking down our, difference of positioning and everything. But I got a screen grab, there you go,
Yep.
When Brennan hits the post, the build up to that play, Destiny Udogi's won the ball. Every single player, including Onana and including that referee, was staring at Destiny Udogi with a ball,
Correct.
There was one player who wasn't. There was only one player out of all who wasn't, and that was Dejan Kulusevski. He was looking at Brennan Johnson on the right. So his IQ to sit in the midfield, and this is what you want from a midfielder, was to know Destiny's won that ball. He's in space. He's going to get me that ball. I know he's going to pass me that ball. What's my next move? And when he receives that ball, he doesn't even look up at Brennan until he's passed him the ball. And I think it was just so wonderful to see little bits like that from him. And for me, at the moment, is, for me, my best player at the moment is Dejan Kulusevski. Honestly, I am loving everything he's bringing to this team. I know a lot of people are surprised, probably thought I'd say Brennan, but no, it isn't. Dejan is making this team purr.
Yeah, it's such a there have been some players that have hit the ground running and have started to. I said to you when you said favorite player, and I said no, best.
Yeah.
I may be incredibly biased here because the best player is my favorite player. Whoa, big Mickey Van der Ven. Whoa, big Mickey Van der Ven. He's big and fast. Van der Ven, you don't get past Van der Ven. Whoa, big Mickey, which is the Yard song. Ben Daniel from We Are Southern TV started that song or heard it somewhere. Me and Ben have adopted it. It is now the Mickey Van der Ven song at the Yard, which gets sung all the time. Listen, I spoke to Ben and Simeon. Every month they do their after every game they do their player ratings. At the end of the month, they do their tier list to say where does a player fit in. And I said, listen, you need to do. They do all these levels, and then the top one is like superb or whatever.
Yeah.
I said you need to do a Mickey Van der Ven level, which is elite, and go right. But as we start every month, Mickey Van der Ven goes into elite. Let's start the rest of the show. This guy is incredible. I can't. We are so lucky. We are so lucky to have this man. He is absolutely pivotal to everything we do with the high line, the high press. He's just magnificent, and we miss every. You know what? If Kulusevski, who I agree, and I've given him a lot of grief. When he's out wide, he's magnificent. I mean, Sunday he was breathtaking, and he deserves all the credit. And by the way, the L that he was doing when he scored was the L for the first letter of his daughter's name.
Yeah.
Because everyone was trying to work it out. We were joking, going, "Yeah, it's for Levy out." But no, it probably was for his daughter's. I can't remember her name, but for her, he's been magnificent. But Mickey Van der Ven for me, I keep saying it. If someone said you can't, one player was to stay fit for the entire season, no injury problems whatsoever, Mickey Van der Ven. I don't even think he is a thing of beauty. He is magnificent. He is incredible. And he's pivotal. Although there could have been quite a few people, but guys, let us know your favorite one. Oh, but best. No, I've forgotten that. Best player so far.
Best player so far.
The next one is Underperformer. Who you reckon?
Sorry, Dave, before we go on that, can I just point one thing out, right? Yeah.
No.
Is what? No, I do. I need to do this. Yeah.
Of course you can.
No, I know. Yeah, but 3 players throughout our little history, or my history, have always stood out to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it crazy to me to think that they're all left centre backs?
Oh, mate,
Ledley King, Jan Vertonghen, and Van der Ven. They are wonderful, amazing players, mate.
Being a left footer myself, I love left-sided centre backs.
But they're fantastic, and they've all been. If you look at Ledley King, mate, he didn't look the fastest player, but my God, he got back for that Iron Robin situation, mate. My God, that was pacey.
I have to say, before you go that now, you said Underperformer.
Yeah.
Before we do Underperformer, I know Colin Crossamano will be in the chat. I know other people that are older than us. Yeah. What other centre backs? I'm sure there's a long list of them. It has been a position we've been fortunate with. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been some bad ones. But that'll be interesting. You're Underperformer.
And it might be a little bit controversial one, but now let me do a little bit of a statement beforehand, right? Just so people don't think I'm slating him or anything like that. Well, I've got to do a disclaimer, right? This is not saying he's bad. This is me saying he's not performing at the level he should be doing that he can do, yeah? So this is not slating him before anyone tries to come at me, especially on X, for saying this person's name. I'm not slating him. I love him to pieces. He's just not performing as he should do. And for me, that's Sonny, mate. Unfortunately, I think he needed a rest. Personally, I think this little break he's having with this little injury, I think it's going to be a godsend for him. But for me, and bear in mind, we're talking about first team starters. We're not talking about the Vermers or the players like that, really. Mainly the ones who have played a lot of games. Sonny,
Yeah.
for me, is not playing as he has been, you know? Sonny has such beautiful ability and is in front of goal. He is so wonderful. But he's had a few times go in front of goal, mate, where he did exactly what Verma did. And that's hit it directly at the keeper. Now, I'm not taking it away from the keeper. I'm not saying these were terrible shots, but these keepers did well, making themselves big, getting out to him quickly. But for me, Sonny, the amount of times I've seen him dink keepers, take the ball around keepers and stuff like that, and he's 1v1 in a player at the moment. For me, and I'm not saying Verma's better, but when we played United, Verma did something Sonny couldn't do. And that was give Mazraoui an entire situation throughout that game is I'm always going to pass you. And he did. He constantly passed him. Yet when I watch Sonny doing it, he's giving the ball away a lot, stuff like that. And I just think he's underperforming of his insane, beautiful ability. Again, I'm not slating him. I just feel like my personal opinion, he's the one out of majority of the team who's got such high ability that even when they're getting assists and stuff, for me, he's underperforming what he can do.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna disclaimer your disclaimer and say, yeah, like I said, you love Sonny, I love Sonny.
Yeah.
He sets himself very, 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 very high standards. And
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I felt foul at this because I thought he'd been underperforming. Then I saw he'd created the most attempts in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. What you're saying is, I think where he's underperforming is, like you said, there's been a few when he's been one-on-one, when normally he pulls the trigger and you're walking to the back to the halfway line because you know it's in the back of the net, where he's trying to take it around the keeper, or you see that yard of pace has kind of gone, but he's still performing. He just sets such high standards that he's just
it's underperforming to what he can do. And that's what my point is. He's not the worst player. What I'm saying is what his standard is, he's underperforming to that part. And yeah, that's it. I totally agree with you. You know what I mean? He's creating loads of chances, stuff like that. But his 1v1s, his 1v1s and his finishing are what he's underperforming on. And I think, like you said, he's lost that yard of pace. You've seen it a few times where he should be running down that wing. But then I think he's been a little bit injured, you know. I think he's been carrying a small injury. And I think, like I said, this break, I think is going to be a godsend for him. And I think when we see Sonny again, he's going to come out the blocks and he's going to be back to his usual on-target, pacey runs and stuff like that. Well, I hope so anyway. Again, we're not slating Sonny. He just such a high-standard player that currently, even though he's creating the got assist in that, he's underperforming his ability.
So I'm picking Radu Dragushin. I honestly, we've been wondering where he's going to start getting games or how he's going to get games. So obviously the back two are probably the biggest partnership within the club. When they're fit, they're going to play. And let's face it, unless they have a wild drop off form, you're nowhere near them. He came in for Van der Ven for the Newcastle game when he was injured. Looked shaky. Made some great tackles. Looked shaky. Has come on. Hasn't really done anything. Then when he had his big chance, obviously played Coventry and was not good at all. But that could be we made wholesale changes and the team. But you'd expect, right, I've got my opportunity now. Let me show what I can do. Karabag, we saw for the first time, we've seen Romero and Dragushin, but we hadn't seen Van der Ven and Dragushin, where Van der Ven and Dragushin are both on the sides they want to play. And he had 8 wonderful minutes and then he's off. He's just his Spurs career has been hampered by the reliability of those two or the sheer class of the two ahead of him. Yeah. And then when he has had the opportunity, I don't think he's taken it. And obviously he's had less games than Sonny, he's had less games than others. So it's hard for me. I could have easily said Timo. I could have easily said Fraser Forster. I could have easily.
But they're the obvious ones, aren't they? They're the obvious ones.
I think we've got those 3 centre backs that, even in the back or whatever, they should be able to go in and get a job done. And whenever Radu's been there, and this isn't just on the fault of Radu, it's the other players around him. I've expected more from him. So we'll let you know. We'll let you know. You let us know who you think.
Yeah.
biggest underperformer has been so far, and what you think of what Dave and I have said for that one. And the next one, this is, I don't know how you want to look at this. You can interpret this anyway, but biggest surprise, Dave.
Yeah, my biggest surprise, and it kind of, it kind of like when you look at a player come in, and for me, come in for such a high price tag, yeah, right, and it's going to be Solanke for me. He's my biggest surprise because I've watched Bournemouth in the past, yeah, we've played them and stuff like that. But for me, I did not know, right? And bear in mind, me and you, Brian, sorry, me and you said when we were signing him, yeah, we were excited for it, yeah. We said he's going to fit our system, yeah. We did not slate the signing whatsoever. We didn't like the price tag, but we accepted the signing, yeah. I wanted to see what he could do. For me, I did not know the sheer press of this man.
Yeah,
I have not seen a press like that for many, many, many years, mate. Even Kane. Now, bear in mind, Kane liked to press, yeah? Solanke's pressing, it seems like it's on another level, mate. He finds a space. And I watched a lovely video, yeah, from 442, I think it's called, yeah? I think it was either 442 or another one of these stat type of shows, yeah?
Yep.
Now, when you see Solanke press, you just think he's running. He's just running endlessly trying to catch the ball. Now, mate, when he was shown against United, when De Ligt had the ball, the way Solanke pressed is he completely shut off any pass towards Martinez. And when I was watching the game, I was thinking I did not see that. But when you see it, it's not just a press; it's a clever, thoughtful press that's affecting the game, but also helping the team. Yeah, because it allows other players to get into different positions to press and stuff like that. So for me, Solanke's been quite a bit of a surprise for me. I've enjoyed watching him. Yes, his first couple of games weren't the best. He got injured. What we're seeing from him now, mate, he is the sole reason. Take away Van der Ven, take away Kulu, take away Johnson, yeah, any of them. He's the reason our current team is clicking because of his pressing, his hold up play, all that. He's a huge surprise for me.
Listen, I can appreciate that and understand that, and I completely agree with you. Thankfully, I went from being fuming about going for Solanke as our record signing to very quickly understanding why. Obviously, the price tag is the English striker, blah, blah, blah. I think he's been monumental since he's come back. You just have to look at the setup for Johnson to create for Kulusevski. Last season, we were bitching and moaning that we didn't have someone that scored tap-ins. Now we've got tap-ins. We've got people saying, oh, well, he's only scoring tap-ins. Don't give him credit. It's insane. I think he's been great. And I'm happy you said that because the way I'm interpreting surprise and everything, I am going to stick up for someone you and I have stuck up for. Not stuck up, I'm going to mention someone you and I have stood by and defended in the face of adversity. And he represents that flag behind you. And I am going to say Brennan Johnson. And it's not because of the 4 goals in the 4 games and the assist, which fair fucking play to him. Mm. It has been you got to remember how young he is. And he played for his team, his team he grew up in, Nottingham, and he was adored, and he's come to a big club. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nottingham Forest is a behemoth of a club in stature and history and what they've achieved and Cloughie and everything. But he's coming to London. We are a huge club. We are a behemoth as well. And the sheer hatred this man has had to receive. And I'm not talking about his game, but to do all that, and then you look at from the commentary game where he wouldn't celebrate with the fans, whether that be because it was only a 2-1 against Coventry, we were lucky, or he was still pissed off and hurt, and rightfully so because
it was both of them. It was both of them.
But when you've gone from that to seeing him smile before the ball goes in the back of the net, to hear the Spurs fans singing his name after he hit the post and loudly, not just a few, loudly, seeing his dad smile It goes to, I mean, what he's overcome, I actually think within the next 2 games, he's going to score in both, or at least a goal or assist in either.
Yeah.
And put in performances. His defensive work against United has improved. It was incredible. So I'm saying my biggest surprise, although it's not a surprise because we all knew, I knew, you knew, or thought and back that it would happen. So it's not a surprise that it's had. It's in the quickness of that turnaround. From the Arsenal game where he disabled his it maybe even been a different game, whatever it was, he disabled his whatever game it was, the turnaround, and now the fans rejoicing and singing his name. Incredible, and well done, Brennan goddamn Johnson. Big up to you.
Yeah, I mean, echo them words, mate. I really do. I've criticised him. You heard me in pre-season criticising and stuff like that, but that's because I know what he can do. I'm
Yep.
Welsh. I've watched him for Wales. I know his ability. Like we're talking about players who underperforming and that. At one point Brennan was, but he's come into his own, and thank God he has, and thankfully fans are seeing what Brennan could do and realizing that weren't just all down to him. It wasn't all down to him. It's having the players around him who can help. The Solankis, the Kulusevski being in the middle, the group's coming together and it's nice to see. But yeah, moving on.
I just have to say one other thing as well.
Go on, sorry.
I will say very, very quickly on this, and it's credit to Ange. It's no coincidence that both Johnson, Solanke, who we've just mentioned, and others have started having bigger impacts because Ange has made subtle changes that people were asking for. People going, he's stubborn, he's rigid, he does this. And listen, people were. I've in the last few games been like, well, I didn't understand, whatever. But he's taken things on board. And if you look at all the types of goal Brennan's got, it's been on the counter. It's been finding him that space that he wasn't getting before. So Ange deserves big credit as well. But yeah, like I said, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Now, obviously, we're moving away from Tottenham here. As everyone knows on Morning Brews, we are a morning brews show. We're not here just to talk about Tottenham. And I think these ones, to bring up, I think they're a bit vital at the moment. Yeah. So first one, Villa beating Bayern Munich. John Duran, what a goal!
I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it. So basically, it's just past the halfway line. He's got a player on him. I can't remember who the player was. And the ball comes to him, mate. He just hits it first time, and he thinks the keeper. The keeper's way out on his 18-yard box. Thinks the keeper, man. It was a beautiful taken goal, and Villa walk away 1-0 against Bayern Munich. And I think for Villa fans, that's a massive win. They've struggled in the Premier League, struggled in the Premier League, but to go to Bayern Munich, and to walk away with a result, that's massive for them. Do you know what I mean? And again, we've got to talk about teams like this because these are the ones in the Prem that we're going to be up against. Yeah. And their Prem form's terrible at the moment. They're struggling. But again, like we say, mate, if you're going to have a bad run in the Premier League, you have a good run in a cup. Yeah. Aston Villa can win the Champions League? God, no. I'm sorry. There's way many better teams. Even Bayern Munich will probably turn them over on the next game. Right, because they've got to play him twice, don't they? I think, or whatever. I
don't know with this new format. I haven't watched a single bit of Champions League football.
No. But PSG, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona are all doing terrible at the moment. They're like, I think it's 15th, 16th, 17th they are. But there is many good teams in there at the moment, and I think Aston Villa are struggling it. But confidence, mate. Confidence coming back into the Prem with a win like that. And I just think fair play to Unai Emery.
So I will say with Aston Villa, when you say their form, they're currently 5th in the Premier League. 4 wins or one thing. They drew against Ipswich.
Yes.
Listen, it's any time a team beats Bayern Munich, no matter what your size is as a football club, it's a massive achievement. And Aston Villa, Unai Emery knows what to do in Europe. Unai Emery in Europe is a beast, but I'm just going to bring something up now. Now, obviously, this is something close to our hearts, but Harry Kane, big game, not sure up again. And you know what? It's mad because I don't know if people know this, but the German press actually turned on him last weekend. And I've just got this article up, and basically, I can't remember who Bayern played at the weekend, but I'm just going to read you not the whole thing, but a German newspaper has rounded on Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane despite his scintillating form in the Bundesliga, and singled out a major problem. England captain Kane joined the Bavarian Giants in a sensational £100 million switch from Tottenham last summer and has been lethal in front of goal. Indeed, he has 54 goals and 17 assists to his name in just 52 appearances in all competitions and topped the scoring charts at the end of last season. Kane also met a new milestone after shattering Haaland's German top flight record, having racked up his 50th goal contribution in the division after 35 matches. However, the talisman has been accused of going missing in games all too often. And it goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but
yeah.
It's the same thing that's dodging Harry Kane. Listen, his goal record is outstanding. It's magnificent. It's brilliant. The greatest goal scorer of all time. For club, country, smashing records in Germany. This guy is a phenomenal. Trust me, if we could have him back, I think we'd all welcome him back.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
There's no denying that. But for both club and country, he's had this thrown at him in England. And now it's being thrown in Germany. Now, I can't really go into what the Germans like. I can read the report, but I haven't followed German football. So I don't know the games he's been in and out of. Let's face it, the goals that he got, if it weren't for his goals last season, God knows where Bayern would have been in the league or anywhere. But he comes back to English soil. And again, it's no goals. I don't know how he played. I haven't watched it, but it's just a shame that this kind of thing is being shown, that when the big games come, unfortunately, listen, I believe with the Champions League, he shouldn't have started for us in the final. It should have been more blood. No. That's all besides the point. But Harry Kane, unfortunately, has this going, and it's just going to feed that kind of narrative, which it's a shame because of that man breaks records everywhere he goes, scores everywhere he goes. It just seems to be like, like you have a bogey team, like Spurs always lose to, or whoever you support, always have that one team. For God's sake, why can't we beat them? Well, it's kind of like that with Harry Kane in massive games. Like don't get me wrong, he gets you to the final. His contributions get you to the final. His contributions get you in the position to challenge. But then at that crunch time, when you need your talisman in the big games and the important, and it's a shame. It's a shame. But but listen, I love Harry Kane. I think he's incredible. He is the greatest striker I've seen in my lifetime, on stats alone and records. And I just hope he wins a trophy.
I do, yeah. And, I completely agree with what you're saying. What I don't think people understand, and it's because of what Harry Kane can do, is the reason he always gets picked out. But if you look at a lot of them games, he's not the only underperformer in them games.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not. And I guarantee you, right? If someone comes in here who's watched the Bayern game, please tell us in the comments. I bet you he was getting no service. I bet you he was having to sit deeper and deeper and deeper. And, they've got, I'm looking at the team now, they've got Gnabry, Coman, Elise right behind him. I'm sorry, they're three incredible players. Why are they not getting picked out? Why are they not getting picked out? Elise was a large amount of money. Hyped to hell. Why isn't he performing? Yep. And you got to look at the whole thing. I don't think it's mainly down to Harry Kane, but I do think when it comes to that pressure of the final, because it's been so long for him, it's there in his mind. And he struggles, and I think that's the issue there. But moving on from reminiscing about Mr. Kane and his new life in Germany, hopefully gets a trophy, wishing the best, how it is, whatever. Let's move on. And the reason I want to bring this up is because I think when you look at a new manager coming into a team, you expect that team to underperform to start with, You look at West Ham bringing in Lopetegui, they're struggling. They're still trying to find their rhythm. They're still trying to find their best team, and they're still trying to get into their own there, which we understand. When you get a new manager in, it can take time. Yeah. Usually it can take an entire season. I mean, you look at Arteta going into Arsenal, took him 3 seasons before he managed to start doing something.
Yep.
Liverpool. I have to bring up Liverpool because, my God, they aren't half performing, yeah, with the new manager. Arne Slot, right? I seen it when Liverpool were getting Slot. A lot of fans, not all of them, a lot of them understood the situation. A lot of fans slated Arne Slot going there, laughed at Liverpool for it. As the words of the famous Nigel Farrar says, you aren't laughing now, are you? Because he's got them purring, and they didn't even have a great window. I don't think they even bought anyone in the window, did they?
No, they did. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I didn't hear like it was no big name or no amazing player or anything, mate. It was
Liverpool summer transfer.
Have a little look, because for me, Arne Slot is doing a hell of a job there, you know, and a lot of people thought Liverpool weren't going to do that. They're performing in the Champions League. They're performing in the Premier League. They're top of the league at the moment, I believe.
Yep.
I mean,
look,
mate, to lose a manager like Jurgen Klopp, who was incredible, by the way, annoying as hell. Couldn't stand the man for the way he talked and stuff like that. But as a manager,
they bought Chiesa.
yeah.
And they bought a goalkeeper. Yeah, they were right. Listen, what I will say to you, Dave, is obviously we were in talks with Slot, or led to believe, and whatever. It didn't happen. I always say this about Liverpool, and I admire Liverpool for this. They have a philosophy. They have a way they want Liverpool to play, and they always, apart from a couple of times with Rafa Benitez and whatever, where they've gone with a more pragmatic, they normally always go front foot attacking managers. And they've gone from Jurgen Klopp, who most certainly is that, to an exact replica in, may play a different formation, may have a different way of attacking football, but it is attacking football. So when the manager comes in, the players there, it may not be the players he wants, but he's got players that can play the positions and the way he wants. Now, he's got someone like Luis Diaz firing. He's also the first manager, I believe, in Liverpool's history, or definitely recent history. Liverpool fans, if you're watching, or people if you know better, he is the first Liverpool manager to win 8 out of his first 9 games. That is massive. I don't care who you're playing, who you're doing, especially coming in after a huge name like Jurgen Klopp that has won everything for them. They are playing very, very, very well. They look organised. They find solutions to every question. Obviously, they had that one. I mean, could you imagine if they got the win against Forest? We're talking top of the league, firing. They look very, very tasty. Very, very tasty. And fair play to Arne Slot.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And fair play to Liverpool owners. Like you said, you know what I mean? They lost a manager who's been there for so long, Jurgen Klopp. And to bring in a manager like Slot and to have the team playing pretty much straight away is what I hope we do now. If whenever Ange comes to leave, we have a philosophy now under Ange.
That's years away. That's the
years away. But what I'm saying is, you get that same style of manager in. You get the same style, because then you don't have to change a lot. You don't have to adjust too much. When we went from Poch to Jose to Conte to Nuno, it was just a mess. And it shows you what a mess it becomes, because the players you get in, it's a drama after drama. So I hope we stick with that. But yeah, big up to Liverpool. I was going to say Arsenal then. No, not big up to Arsenal. Screw you. We don't like you. Shut up. Go back to where you came from. But no, all jokes aside, you know, Liverpool are permanent at the moment. A lot of teams are. Team surprise, Chelsea, they're permanent at the moment, mate. We've got I think this is going to be one of the hardest seasons we're going to watch in the Prem, mate. I really do. I think there's going to be a really close call-in season from top to at least 7th, 8th, mate. It's going to be a tough one this season. But anyway, that is it from us. We've gone over time by 49 minutes there.
No, we haven't gone over time by 49. We've gone overtime by 19.
Yeah, but we did 49 minutes. So we're overtime by 49 minutes for me. Yeah, no, we're going over by 19 minutes. Because I honestly, Dave, I've enjoyed this, mate. I've enjoyed
Hey,
sitting here, and I hope people who are watching this in the premiere tomorrow, I hope you are also enjoying this. And we do want to see you in the comments. Please jump in the comments tomorrow. Let us know your thoughts on everything we've spoken about. Drop a
correct.
like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to bring out as much content, even in situations like this. We only got told Ben couldn't do the show tomorrow, literally about, what was it, an hour and
You
a
mean
half?
today? We got
Today,
told
sorry.
that
Today,
Ben, we
sorry.
it's
Yeah,
so
sorry.
confusing. Yeah, we found out literally at 11 o'clock UK time
Yeah.
in the evening that Ben isn't feeling well. Fair play, but we said, Ben, listen, and we didn't know what we are going to do. So this whole show has been on the
Just
fly,
completely on the
last
spot.
minute,
Yeah.
because we want to bring you guys content, and we love the sound of our own voices.
Yes, we do. And also, just let everyone know, it would have been earlier, but I was outside chasing my cat around because he decided to escape and I had to bring him in because it's freezing cold in Wales. So, yeah, this is what we do for you guys. So, please do something for us. We are trying to grow this channel as best as possible, right? And we got to be honest with it. You know, we do want to see them likes, we do want to see them subscriptions, but what we want to see is the community in the chat. The people who are coming in to each video, you guys are absolutely incredible. We barely have any issues, any dramas, nothing like that. And that's what we love. We love seeing you just appreciate football and talking about football and talking to each other. And there's a lot of people in there talking to each other, becoming friends in the chat, you know, and genuinely respecting everyone's opinion within there. Like we say, your opinion is your own, our opinion is ours. If you disagree with it, explain why you do, but in a nice, correct way, like we would with you. We're not trying to change anyone's mind or anything like that. We're just here to talk, have fun, and yeah, just enjoy doing podcasts and YouTube for you guys. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll see you in the chat. Please, please, please let us know anything that you think is relevant to talk about. Let us know.
Yep.
So yeah, for me, this is my Domini Mind, and Mr. Daigle, I will allow you to do your beautiful, amazing, one of a kind goodbye to everyone who's watching this.
I will say, like I did say to people, there won't be an evening brews tonight because I will be at the yard, but there will be a reaction. I don't know why I'm doing this, but what will happen is on Friday, you will have morning brews, you have Anger Management, and you will have the fan show that may be a little bit earlier, but there will be a fan show. It will be me and Ben Kaufman if he's feeling better. And I will say, enjoy your day. Come on, you Spurs. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't know why I'm doing this longer. And as always, Levy out. Tell them talk.